Good morning and Merry Christmas to everyone out there who's listening. It's about 5:26 in the morning now and it is December 25th. This is all I had at hand to do something in the holiday spirit. I actually do have a Santa outfit that's in its packaging, big felt. You can actually wear it in the winter and it's pretty warm. Um, but that's in the attic and it hasn't come out for a couple years, so I unfortunately couldn't even grab my hat from there. And this is all I had available right now because actually the other Christmas sweater that I have is it's a blue sweater, has Merry Christmas on it, but it has the Grinch pulling the thread on the letters, so like the S is gone, he's working on the A, so it's all being taken care of. But this is what I got for today because I'm in a good mood. Woke up with good results. But to that point, this thing kind of pinches a little bit, so I'm taking this off. Ah, and I can do the rest of this normally as myself. But hey, how you doing? So, what do I mean by good news? I'll just jump right into it. The art department came up with this little graphic, 232.2. Okay. Now, one of the things that I've been doing is on my desk here, I actually have been keeping the old tags just to give myself a good reminder of what I did and what I then did, and then what I'm trying to do again. What I mean by that is, about a month ago, the day before Thanksgiving, I hit the 50-pound weight loss mark. Okay. And that's what this top one was. Okay. So that was 232. I'm sorry, 235. As I'm looking at this backwards, 5 looks like a 2. At 235. So that was a great monumental achievement that I never thought I would get. Okay. But again, for the last 7 months, the efforts I've been putting into have been, even remarkable to myself that I've maintained it for so long. And yes, I am utilizing this pen to assist in my journey. But because I'm actually going to be using this pen, those of you who have heard this before, I've been hitting this from like 5 different angles, if not 6. Okay. This pen was something the doctor said you should take. Okay. Because I hit a diabetes marker in one of my physicals. So I was able to get off of that quickly enough, but hey, I hit it. Therefore, I'm susceptible. So I have this. I snore a lot at night when I sleep, which my wife will give you a testimony on if she were ever around for this. So I'm in a CPAP machine, which means I'm getting more oxygen as I sleep, which is great for the body. They say that aerobic simply means oxygen to the blood. So aerobic exercise is something that pumps your heart with activity, and then the oxygen flows in because you're taking deeper gasps of breath. But just oxygen to the blood is aerobic. I've changed my eating patterns for the better. I've cut my drinking down to almost a third of its original intake, which was almost like a pint of whiskey a night as I wind down from the day and watch TV and let it dull my senses to go to sleep. And I'm exercising a lot. I see a trainer 3 days a week, and I try to supplement that with more if I can, because even a fourth day just on my own will make spectacular benefits. Okay. I was hitting a treadmill out in the garage. It's getting really cold to do that now. But by doing the treadmill on an incline program, I've been getting a hip issue, like the muscle on the flexor on my hip that I will need to look into one time soon. But I have a couple pieces of good news, okay, besides this. And besides the fact, like I said, I've been keeping my older ones next to me on my desk. Like I said, this was November 28th, I want to say. Whatever that Wednesday was right before Thanksgiving. And then I kind of took a week off. So I raised quickly because it was Thanksgiving. It was also my birthday. And I celebrated that at least twice. So I did a gain, but I was fine with the gain. I was like, listen, I just did so much for so long. But then as that gain was coming down quickly, I still didn't hit that 50-pound marker, you see, even this 1 week after. So we're talking about the 14th, maybe the 12th. I still wasn't back down to that 50-pound loss number. Okay. And then even the last week, I came closer, only within 0.4 pounds, within a half a pound, but it wasn't quite here yet. Okay. So I can finally get these things off my desk because I finally busted into a new low. Okay. And from last week alone, this is 3.3 pounds down. A total of 54.4 pounds lost from, I think, June 6th-ish. So, hey, I'm doing all right. On top of that, I forgot if I mentioned this last week or not, but I had told my doctor, because he's like, hey, you're doing great. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing as far as, progress is concerned. He sees no reason to up it, because usually you go from 1 milligram to 2 milligrams if you need an extra boost or something like that. He goes, no, you're doing great with the 1. The gradual loss is the way to go. So we're going to keep it there. He goes, but have you been feeling anything? And I told him, I was like, yeah, on the right side of my belly here, there's a sensation. It's not pain, but there's a sensation that just is weird, and it's localized too. And he goes, okay, let's do an ultrasound of your belly area. So full abdomen, which I told him, was like, listen, since you're down there, I was going to get a liver scan done again. So he didn't want to do it again until July, like a full year passed. I was like, why don't you do that as well while you're there? And he was able to come up with some good results. Okay, let me grab my paper for a second. My notes. Okay, so now, one of the things that he said, he goes, you have fatty liver disease. Because everything's a disease or a syndrome these days. But my liver was enlarged. And normally when it enlarges, especially after you're an adult, is because fatty deposits have gotten into the liver and grown on the liver. Okay. Now, fat on a liver has a tendency to make the process of the liver work not at its peak. Okay. So the filtering or whatever that it's doing can't filter as well. Okay. So then when we did the ultrasound, he got the results. He says that it has shrunk. Okay. It was an 18 centimeter liver. I think they do it from end to end at its longest point. Now it's at 16. And that is suggestive, highly suggestive, that the fat that was inside the liver has decreased or dissolved or gone away. Okay. He mentioned a word, I think it was like gastroparesis. I don't know if that was this or the other organ I'm going to talk about, but the enlargement has stopped and now it's shrunk back to a better size. So all these efforts, and I'd like to just say, hey, it's your liver, especially the drinking that's gone down, but everything has now made that organ a healthier organ. So it can do its job for my body in a better fashion, which is great news. Okay. The other thing he looked at was apparently, oh, by the way, and with the liver, he's really more concerned about what comes through when I get my blood test in a few weeks, because it's the liver enzymes that are going to be a very important measurement of this. So that's going to be a better update when I finally get the blood tests in a couple weeks and I get the results back from that. But as far as like the size of it is concerned, boom, it shrunk. Something else he had mentioned was, and I don't remember this. I don't want to say he never told me. I just never locked it into my long term and talked about it. But he also says that my spleen was enlarged before. So that enlargement has now stopped and it's gotten better, he says. It has shrunk down And in fact, it's gotten to the point now, he's probably not going to look at it again. He goes, whatever issue you had that enlarged your spleen, you've passed that. So I've got 2 organs that used to be larger that have gotten smaller, along with the rest of me. So that was good news to hear. I'm fantastic. As far as the sensation that I had him on the right side of my belly, he doesn't see anything. One thing apparently that is a concern with people that take semaglutides like Ozempic is the gallbladder. Sometimes people can develop gallstones. And the scan that I got, no stones, nothing in evidence at all, which is, knock on wood, fantastic. There actually is a gallbladder cleanse that I had done about a year ago, I want to say, that hopefully helps these things out, you know. If you want to know about that, let me know, and I'll post something down below. But that's good. Now, another thing he gave me more information on that I might have been wrong about on how these things actually work is one of the ways it works. Now, I always thought it was kind of like a chemical lap band, that it almost like made your stomach smaller. Okay. This time around, when I was talking to him, he was talking more on the lines that it keeps food in your stomach longer. Okay. So usually you eat, the stomach does its job, the enzymes come in, goes to dissolve, throws it into the chute, and it goes through the rest of your system. Here he's saying that it literally keeps the food in your stomach longer. It slows down and slowly breaks down the food that's in there. To the point that if you have a breakfast, it'll stay in your stomach. And then when it comes time for a lunch, you might not be hungry because food is still in your stomach. It's still working its way through. And therefore, you might even, if you're not hungry, but you feel like you still have to have one because you're on a schedule, you might have something smaller because you can't cram too much into the capacity of that stomach. So he says one of the things that might be the sensation I was feeling right here was when you eat, your stomach is so big. You put food in it, it stretches. It's elastic. It stretches. And then usually it digests and shrinks back down. But with this slowing down the process, it stretches and stays stretched for longer. I might be feeling some of that extra stretch. So as it slowly shrinks down as the food comes on out. Okay, so that could be the sensation. But as far as medically, no stones, everything's working fine, the weight's coming down, my levels are getting better, and the blood test next month will prove a lot more. So I got all that going for me now. I'm actually I'm to the point now that it's been over 6 months that I can start getting, medical tests to see, hey, what is the scientific results of everything I'm doing here, which is always a good thing to know. Okay? So I'll start to do my little injection today. This is the last one of 2024 because next Wednesday is the 1st. So this is the second shot in my newer pen. I've dialed in my 1 milligram. I've just gotten the area all cleansed. Insert, click and click. I don't know why that one took longer. That was weird. That's something different, which, as my screens keep turning on and off. So I'm kind of curious what the hell was going on there. One last thing I can leave you with is something I've been noticing actually more, which I'm not too thrilled about, but maybe it is a good thing. But one thing I know is that temperature-wise, I'm normally a hot man. Okay, when I cuddle up to the missus at night, she's like, "Oh God, you're making me sweat. Walk away for a little bit because I'm very exothermic. I got so much going on inside that it's just like the heat is emanating from me over and over again." But I've been noticing lately, and it's not a matter of that it's winter out now, is I've been getting chills. I've been getting chillier. I've been feeling colder. I've been needing to throw on layers. Like, I got one of my hoodies here, and I'll put on once this is over. When I wear it, it's not very flattering, unfortunately. But yeah, like when I go to the plasma place, I do that about twice a week. My fingers are cold. I gotta warm them up. So when they do a little prick on the finger to take a small sample and put it in their thing, my hand's cold. So, and it even happened this morning. Like I was under the covers, and it's probably like 4 or something like that. Slowly waking up to my day, but I'm like I'm chill. I did not want to get out from under those covers. Now the room in the thermostat said it was 68, which isn't a cold temperature, but so I'm losing some of that heat emitting. Now I might not be the bear I was before because I'm 54 pounds lighter, but I didn't think that was something that was fat generated. Or maybe it was. Maybe my body was constantly pumping, to use up certain energy that it had already stored, like in fat or in the meals and the excessive meals I've been eating, you know, before it stored it into like the fat cells. Um, but it is one of those things that I've just really been noticing lately is that like, I've been, just working at my desk. My fingers are getting cold and I've been trying to layer up. So maybe I've lost some of my blanket that I've had before. You know, could mean anything, could mean nothing, but it's an observation about me along my journey that I'm sharing because maybe you have felt this as well if you're doing the same thing. Um, I don't have anything else to say for today. So what I'm going to say is, I hope you're enjoying your holidays. It's been a nice winter so far. We had a little bit of snow yesterday, but it was practically melted by the time the day was over. So hopefully more of that comes around. If you're on this journey as well, I wish you, as well as I possibly can, all the best of luck and pretty much all the best to support your will. Because everything I've been doing has been trying to keep my will focused by having my old weights on my desk next to me to make sure I say, hey, you hit a great and then you faltered, you're going back. Let's make sure you get there. Two, I don't have my bangle on right now, but I have, my bracer that I put on to remind me, hey, don't reach for things that you shouldn't be doing right now. Find a way to get past that. I've also been trying to, do what I can. Like I said, when I do these videos, this is my accountability, not only to myself, but to you, to make sure that, hey, I'm giving good progress reports every single week. Which also helps me as well, saying on Tuesdays, so yesterday, I'm almost fasting. I'm making sure I do as much as possible to get this number to just look as great as possible week after week after week. My new hope now is I'm 2.2, let's say 2.3 pounds away from being in the 220s. I want to start the new year in the 220s. So that's my focus for this next week. Now, luckily, today being Christmas, we're hosting Christmas meal with family and friends today. So I get to start my week with a little, say, cheat day, but I have 6 more days to take care of it. So, and by the way, my trainer does work on Christmases. So I'm actually going to see him at 11 o'clock. So that's, I'm going to make sure I keep with it, do one last training exercise before having the holiday meal. So, I'm keeping it here. I've been keeping my mindset up, but I've also been doing things to keep my effort and my journey present day. I'm not done. I saw when I hit the 50, I took a week off, bam, I had things happen right then and there. Again, I indulged that week, so it's going to happen. But I knew it was temporary. Now, it has taken a full month to surpass where I was before that temporary setback. But even in 2 or 3 weeks, I was back down to about the same area. Like I said, about 0.4 pounds. That's about the same. That's like one bathroom excursion. It's 0.4 pounds right there. So timing is what it is. But I got back down to a new low. I'm going to keep on going. And I've got my next good goal in mind. Hey, I'm going to now start thinking about being sub 200. That might be a thing that's going to be possible and sustainable. But before I get there, 220s. So I'm sorry for saying goodbye for as long as I had, but there you go. Spread the word, let people know that this is going on. Got the whole library still out there. Anyone can watch it from the beginning till now and see if this helps themselves. All right. In the meantime, so long. Enjoy the rest of your day.